Hello. For many of you who do not know me, my name is Joanne Banfield. I am doing this vlog, which may be a taboo to you, but to me, it's about my health. I am here to talk about breast implant illness, an abbreviation BII. I have breast implants. I got them back in 2008, almost 10 years ago. Breast implant illness it's a time frame of so many symptoms of different kinds that are caused by breast implants that have appeared. Now here's my backstory. I was 25 years old. I was young, naive, unsure about myself. My self-esteem was just horrible, especially in regards to my body. When I looked into the mirror, I always wondered why I didn't look curvy like other women or friends that I knew. Some of my friends and guys and people in general, they would make comments that were really insulting and made me feel hurt. Like, you're too thin, you're flat chested, you don't have any shape, you have little mosquito bites. Just insulting me, and y'all don't realize that those insults really hurt my feelings and damaged my self-esteem with my body. That was a point where I became more unsure about myself. Like, do men want me? Do people want me? Are they interested in me? Does my body look okay? I was constantly unsure of myself. And one friend, when I was 25 years old, she decided to have implants, and I asked her questions. I got information from her, and she referred me to her plastic surgeon. So I had a consultation, and from there, I just decided to move forward with it. A few weeks later, I raised enough money and had the surgery. It's funny because after my surgery, my self-esteem was amazing. I felt I looked more like a woman. I got more attention. Less people insulted me based on my body. So my self-esteem was just outgoing. I am still feeling confident about my body today, except for like certain parts of my body that are not slim like I used to be, and my weight struggles are just they fluctuate, and that's part of BII. I look back and I'm like, wow, most of these symptoms did not appear until after I got implants. But I was also like, nah, no big deal. Maybe those symptoms are from my age, or I partied too much in college, or I didn't eat right, I didn't take care of myself, blaming everything else except my implants. Then about a month, almost 2 months ago, I came across an article that talked about BII, breast implant illness. I mean, okay, honestly, my mom, she sent me so many articles throughout the years. I was like, yeah, whatever. I was young. It's my decision. I was basically in denial. I mean, my mom tried, but I was just resistant. So I'm stubborn. Now I'm older. I'll be 35 next month. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm wiser. I'm more conscious about my health. And I'm so tired of being sick with all of these weird symptoms I've never had before, and just popping up here and there. And I'm like, what is going on? And that article came my way, and I read through it, and I was just like, oh, wow. So many symptoms I experienced were on that list. I was dumbfounded. My mom's right the whole time. I mean, she's my mother. She's always cared about my health and wants me to be natural and take care of myself. So hats off to my mom. She was right. But this isn't about my mom being right or wrong. It's about me and my decision to accept this and take care of myself for once. So I read the article and found a Facebook page called Breast Implant Illness and Healing by Nicole. So I decided to check it out, signed up, explaining why I wanted to be part of the page. because I have breast implants and probably been getting sick from them. So as soon as I accepted, I was floored. There was over 42,000 people on that page, mostly women, who are or have experienced BII. Some are not sure they want implants. Some are just curious to learn about BII, and some have friends or family members with implants that are being stubborn and they just want to learn more so they can educate them on the topic. So I was just amazed with how many people are on that page, and I relate to them so much. Their experiences, their frustrations, struggles, their illnesses. I totally got it. I mean, with similar experiences. Some of these women have more severe symptoms than others, but this is not about comparing who is worse, as everybody's journey is different. For me, looking back when I first got implants back in 2008, the first symptoms that appeared was anxiety attacks. I blamed it. I was like, oh, I party too much. I'm just not taking care of myself. Then really I realized it was my implants. A couple of months after my implants, I noticed my weight gain increased quickly. I used to be able to eat whatever I wanted because I was very active in college, but I was still gaining weight. Every year I gained new symptoms, and I was just so clueless on this. I think it was about 2010. I had psoriasis I've had it for years, but it wasn't as severe until that time. I had the worst flare-up ever, like thick, scaly skin behind my ears, patches on my head. It was awful. I gained even more weight, I was about 30 pounds overweight, and something that I'm not comfortable. And that's a lot for somebody like me who's always been very thin. And I got so sick of people saying, oh, you're thin, you're fine. You know what? It's not about you. It's about me and how I feel and what I know of my body. So again, it was just frustrating. I was happy with my breasts, but again, struggling with people's comments. I'm just like, done. Now to get back to the point, in 2010, I moved to Austin, Texas, and that's when my body went into overdrive. I developed hypersensitivity to many things. My allergies were over the roof, food sensitivities over the roof. I started getting vertigo, migraines, you name it, I became sensitive to it. I used to be able to drink coffee, energy drinks, beer, but now I can't. Not anymore because my body became sensitive to it almost overnight. I also developed allergies to antibiotics, specific medications, and my body was just like, nope, I ain't having it. Those 2 years, 2010 to 2012, was one of the worst years, like my lowest point. I was ready to give up on my life. Ready to give up on my life. That's serious. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me and why all these things were happening to me. Just like, why? In the school I used to work at, they had mold issues in my classroom, and so did my apartment. I've always been sensitive to mold with sneezing and a runny nose as I grew up in a deaf school, and I went to Gallaudet with, their old buildings, so I was used to it. But after my implants, my body was just like, they ain't having it. So my body became so sensitive to mold that it was so serious that it almost killed me. I got better as soon as I got out of those mold environments, but I still struggling with health issues, vertigo, migraines, nausea, weight, allergies, food, all of this stuff. So every year I had to eliminate so many things I used to enjoy or was never sensitive to. You can only imagine what it feels like. I blamed partying too much, didn't eat right, my age, my sense, I was so sick of people telling me, like, oh, you're just getting older. Like, it's really, my age, it just made no sense to me. In about 2014, I decided to quit drinking. I stayed inside a lot, and that time I lost my job, so it was easy to stay inside more often. And I switched to paleo. Like, I was really strict on paleo. I had to remove all the toxins from my body, and I mean, that was tough. The toughest experience ever. My body was detoxing. I was struggling through the detox. My body was just like, whoa. But it improved a lot of my symptoms because my body was just mad because I put foreign objects into it. From really 2014 to 2016-ish, I was doing well. I lost weight. I felt a lot better, but I struggled emotionally, mentally, and physically because I lost my job. My relationship was horrible. It was bad. Like, we broke up, and I was struggling with depression and anxiety. But health-wise, I mean, I was doing a little bit better. At the end of 2015, nearing 2016, I contracted parasites. I had a new job that required a lot of travel, and again, I was very sensitive to everything, and I got parasites. My body was just off. I became fatigued easily. I had rashes on my face. I was struggling with detoxing again and taking care of myself to get rid of the parasites, and that was a challenge within itself. Then about 2016, 2017, I started getting these weird headaches. Like, these headaches are so severe. I would feel like I was ready to have a stroke or an aneurysm. And I mean, just, that's how serious it was. I can't even explain it. Honestly, going through all of this throughout 10 years, struggling health-wise, mentally, emotionally, physically, I honestly don't know how I am still alive today. I really don't. So 2 months ago, finding that article about breast implant illness, I felt like it woke me up and saved my life, hopefully. Because after reading the article and joining the page, there's one woman on there who has like similar height, weight as mine, who shared her experience with the breast implant explant on block, and her doctor, which is Dr. Burns from Dallas, Texas. It's like, okay, I asked her questions, she shared her experience, which helped me make an informed decision. If you're wondering what explant on block surgery is, it's explanting your implant, basically taking it out. I mean, honestly, our bodies are amazing. When you get implants, your body starts to form a capsule. The capsule will form around the implant because your body is like rejecting the implant, so the capsule protects the body from the implant. I was just floored. I recommend you research it. Anyways, when they take the implants out on block, that means they make sure they take out the implants with the capsule, everything, without cutting anything and causing a rupture or more toxins to spread in the body. Some surgeons won't do it, some of them do. The surgeon I found does it. Look on YouTube, you'll see different videos on how they do it. It's fascinating. So they explant it and cut off the capsule and take out the implant. I will have that done, and I'm happy to say I am scheduled for July 13th. I will have an explant on block with the fat transfer, which means my body fat. They're going to do liposuction and process it, and then place it back into my breast, because after explantation, my body will not look like it used to when I was younger. So that'll help fill out the breast tissue that I lost or will lose after explant. I cannot emphasize how important the surgery is for me. I mean, I didn't lose 10 years of my life, but I lost some of it. I struggled with being sick. I struggled with my relationships. They got sick of me being sick all the time, and other people frustrated and sick of me complaining all the time with being sick. And I've missed out on my own personal time with my students, my dogs. I lost time because I was tired and exhausted all the time. In the past year, my fatigue and headaches have been horrible. Seeing many of these beautiful women on the Facebook page and reading their stories, many of them healing after explanting. Many of them feel great, but others struggle with detoxing, and some of them are going through their own journeys. If it wasn't for that page, I would honestly probably just keep procrastinating the surgery and just deal with it. My biggest concern was finances, but luckily I have Care Credit that I opened when I had my first implant surgery, and I requested an increase, and amazingly, just by fate, I was qualified for enough to cover the surgery for the costs. So yes, I will have surgery on July 13th. It will be a tough recovery, but I'm hoping for the best and hoping that many of the symptoms I've experienced throughout these 10 years will eventually go away or fade away. This is not an easy decision for me, but I'm hoping and I know it's for the best. Honestly, I have so many more symptoms, but just to give you an idea of what I have out of this whole list, I've had many of these for over 10 years. Just many of them. I don't know how I got through all of them, like chronic fatigue, cognitive dysfunction, like brain fog. I can't remember things, can't concentrate, forgetting things, muscle pain and weakness. Sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and my body hurts so bad, and I'll feel this tingling and my joints just hurt so bad, and I developed a pain in my left shoulder. It won't go away. It's just, I have had hair loss, dry skin, my weight fluctuation, inflammation, like when I get sick, it's just really serious. Poor sleep and insomnia. I still struggle with that today. Decline in vision disturbances, like I see things floating in the air. I'm sensitive to lights, hypo and hyperadrenal symptoms, estrogen and progesterone, it fluctuates. I have low libido, my desire for sex is not stable. I bruise easily. Sometimes I'll have a metallic taste in my mouth. I used to have vertigo. I struggle with more serious irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. Sometimes I get night sweats for no reason, and sometimes it smells like ammonia. I have severe sinusitis. It's severe. I have ear ringing, sudden food intolerances, allergies, headaches, which I am so over. Slow recovery after working out, which means it takes me a long time to recover, even if I stretch or drink water. I have sore and aching joints with my shoulder and my back. My lymph nodes swell up, which they really hurt under my arm and neck. I'm dehydrated all the time. I have to constantly drink water. I have to have water by my bed, which I used to not have to. I have numbness, tingling, waking up feeling like a weird flushing, and I can't really explain it. I have anxiety, depression, panic attacks, feeling like I'm dying. The list just goes on and on. My purpose here is not for you to give me sympathy, or it's not about that. I mean, it's the fact that I want to educate you and share my story and my experience and what I finally understand and accept, that my implants have been making me sick for all these years. I've struggled with various doctors who could never figure out what I have. They're like, oh, you have anxiety. Oh, you have allergies. Oh, this, oh, that. But me, I knew in my heart that it was more than that. Things like these don't just pop up out of nowhere. It just doesn't. Now I understand why. So I'm hoping after this vlog, I'm sorry that it's long, but I didn't want to just summarize and simplify my story or experience. I want you to think about those with breast implants, think about researching them, get them checked, research about breast implant illness, and join the Facebook page, Breast Implant Illness and Healing by Nicole. Just read other people's stories and make an informed decision. Remember, implants are not lifetime devices. You have to replace them anyways. Now that they have new technology with the fat transfer, it's a healthier alternative, as it's your own body fat, and better than putting in toxic bags full of chemicals in your body. Some women or people react severely. Some don't. I mean, we're all different, but some of us, our bodies are just not having it. I hope you learned something from my experience. My experience is not for you to gossip or enjoy talking about. This is not for you. This is my journey, and I hope you respect it. Be empathetic. I'm human too. I have emotions and thoughts too. Please respect that. I will continue sharing my experience after my surgery in July with how I'm feeling, my healing process, what it's like, my mental and emotional experience, if it's better, or if I'm still struggling or whatnot. I mean, we'll see when the time comes. Until then, I hope I have your support. And for those who have been supporting me throughout the years, thank you. I really appreciate it. I would not have survived without my friends, my family, my community. Because of you, I'm still here today fighting through my struggles. Thank you, and I love y'all.